Mania, kita kali ini akan membahas tentang video dari yang berjudul dengan obesitas naik drastis setelah tahun 1970. Ya, ini the video yang dibawakan oleh Dr. Jason Fung, seorang ahli spesialis ginjal, ya, dari Kanada. Ya, bagi yang ingin tahu mengapa bisa terjadi kenaikan di sini, silakan simak terus, ya. Selamat datang di channel BINARAGA.NET bersama saya Jo Puangfu, biasa dipanggil nama Jo JP atau JP, yang biasa membahas tentang produk latihan maupun nutrisi, ya, produk seputar fitness. Ya. Obesitas kenapa bisa naik setelah tahun 1970-an? Nah, ini akan dilihat kronologisnya berdasarkan data-data yang ada di Amerika, ya. Jadi bagi yang ingin tahu, penasaran mengapa bisa ada terjadi kenaikan, padahal sebelum 1970-an memang ada obesitas juga, tapi lebih jarang, ya, lebih tidak sampai viral, ya. Dan jangan khawatir, ini video ini telah kita sematkan teks bahasa Indonesia karena video ini dalam bahasa Inggris. Ya, bagi yang ingin tertarik menonton, silakan tonton terus.
Because if you look at the original food pyramid, when we switched to sort of low-fat diets to, hey, eat more carbohydrates, this is the food pyramid that we taught everybody in the school and all that sort of stuff, right? So it's not like, hey, you should eat more beans sort of thing. If you look at this food pyramid, it's, hey, you should eat more bread and rice and couscous and potatoes, right? So they're sort of like processed refined carbohydrates, right? So bread is made from flour, which is not a whole product. It's not like like flour doesn't grow out of the ground. It's processed, right? You take the wheat, you strip out the fat, you strip out the protein, and then you grind it into a fine dust. So it's a highly processed thing, and we're telling people to eat lots more bread. And it got to the point in the sort of 80s and 90s when this whole fat phobia came on, that you'd have things like the American Heart Association diet here, an eating plan for healthy Americans, 1995. So it says to control the amount and kind of fat, saturated fatty acids, and dietary cholesterol you eat, choose snacks from other food groups such as low-fat cookies, low-fat crackers. Like, these are good for you. Like, that's what they're saying, right? Eat snacks like cookies, unsalted pretzels, hard candy, gumdrops, sugar. It's like sugar, right? Like, what are you telling people, right? 1995, it's like, hey, you should eat more sugar and less butter, right? If you look at food availability, you know, people stop eating eggs, butter, and animal proteins, and they eat a lot more grains and sugars. So mostly refined grains, mostly sugars. And if you look at sugar consumption, it goes up, right? If you look at the dietary guidelines, that's where everybody says, oh, fat is bad for you, therefore you should eat low-fat candy. So therefore sugar, which they never said you should eat more sugar, but it does go up because that's what people got told. And people are eating more grains as well. So total grains, or whether you look at wheat, it sort of had been coming down slowly into the 70s. And after the 70s, people started to eating a lot more carbohydrates and so on. And that's where we started to see obesity really take off. So remember that the dietary guidelines were never targeted at obesity. They're targeted to this sort of heart disease message. But the whole thing got sort of mixed up in that, because we said that dietary fat was so bad for you. It had to be not just bad for the heart, but it had to cause all kinds of obesity and other things too. But when we cut it back, that's when we sort of got this huge rise in the obesity epidemic. So the carbohydrates couldn't be bad in that they're fattening, but good because they're low in fat. So they had to be good for you. So now carbs don't make you fat, they make you thin, right? That was the new messaging. Against what William Osler and all those people had said for the previous 100 years. Based on no evidence, we said, hey, carbs make you thin, fat causes heart disease, so it also must cause obesity. Again, based on no evidence whatsoever.
Semoga ini bermanfaat. Saya Jo Puangfu. Setuju kan Anda bahwa hidup ini adalah pilihan, jadi kita bebas memilih gaya hidup seperti apa, dan kita bebas mengkonsumsi makanan yang ingin kita konsumsi, tapi kita tidak bebas dari konsekuensinya. Jadi salah satu konsekuensinya adalah menyebabkan terjadi obesitas ini. Ya, jadi makanannya yang kita harus tahu, pahami, dan memang kesehatan bukan yang utama, tetapi hal yang utama tidak bisa diraih tanpa kesehatan. Dan memang kita tidak mungkin bisa membayar orang melakukan push up, pull up, squat, tetapi kita yang mendapatkan ototnya. Jadi kita yang harus melakukan kepada diri kita sendiri. Saya Joko bersama BINARAGA.NET. Kami mengajak Anda membangun generasi baru yang lebih cerdas, fit, dan tangguh. Di BINARAGA.NET, kami selalu percaya bahwa setiap orang pasti bisa memiliki tubuh yang ideal dan sehat. Dengan subscribe, like, dan share video ini, Anda turut membantu membangun Indonesia sehat dan kuat. Salam jelas fitness, saya JP.